All right, let's see what we got here. I guess we on. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's bring this mic a little bit closer. Make sure that things are working. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer, and essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And the whole idea of helping you to become mentally and emotionally balanced is just so you can attain your highest level of consciousness. Now, when we're talking about attaining the highest level of consciousness, what does that mean? It simply means, let's just say, you becoming the Christ like, the Krishna like, the Buddha like, and all those figures or personas, they are a personification of anyone who has attained that level of consciousness. That is why, the whole idea of the Holy Communion, breaking bread, as you eat, let's just say, I mean, I can't recall exactly how it was said, but as you eat, like as Jesus saying, eat a piece of me or whatever, like my body, that will transform you. But that transformation, what they're talking about here, it's truly you attaining a highest level of consciousness. Only then, only then can, let's just say, miracle takes place. And when we're talking about miracles, like I love to say, we're giving sights to the blind. And at this point, I understand what it means. It's simply referring to, helping you to see, but not just the regular sight, but now you seeing with your third eye. I mean, I just don't want to make it too occultish, if that makes any sense. Because in just a minute, I'll get to talk to you guys about spirituality and, get to pretty much expose the whole thing to let you know it's just simply you. So, me as a spiritual healer, the whole idea of me helping you to become mentally and emotionally balanced is just so you can attain your highest level of consciousness. And that entail you knowing you yourself, not just the physical self, but in addition to that, also your spiritual self or the other aspect of you. And if you understand that, well, that's what spirituality is at the same time, because you are spirit, but you can only get to realize or to understand that part of you by you becoming in alignment with your emotions and your intellect and by you attaining the highest level of consciousness. That's why, just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean it's not there. That's why the truth, you have to wake up to it. We all got to wake up to it. It's already done, but you just got to activate it. And that's what becoming spiritual is pretty much all about. But anyway, not to get too much ahead of myself here, in just a nutshell, that's what I do. Now, when it comes to being emotionally and mentally balanced, what we're doing here, let's just start with being emotionally balanced. What I help you to do, first of all, you have to understand what emotions are. And just so you guys know, as a disclaimer, I'm not referring, let's just say, not raising your voice, because that's what I notice, having self-control has become, or not speaking too loud or behave a certain way. All of that shit is just fake. It has nothing to do with you truly expressing who you are. Now, you may choose not to raise your voice. I mean, if it's not necessary, why should you? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'll give you a perfect example. Like I I don't argue with fools. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. Like you got the mic. It's all you. And that is not because I don't want to express myself. When I have to say what needs to be said, it will be said. But anyway, I guess what I'm truly saying here, to master your emotions, it's not pretending. It's truly for you to understand what your emotions are, and then now at this point you can understand your emotional pattern. I would rather at this point you create it, and then now if there's any blockages, then you know how to handle that. Then you becoming emotionally accountable, and that's truly how you master your emotions. I mean, to suppress your emotions, listen, it's dangerous. Trust me. That's when a lot of people get triggered. When you don't acknowledge, the wounded child in you, which are those early hurt or feelings or disappointments that you had, then at this point, and then your mind too, then your intellect becomes in alignment with that fear, and now all of your actions stems from that fear. That's why we always say your actions, stems from either your fear or love. And then at this point, you get to, it's a whole different world. Those are two different worlds. But anyway, going back to being emotionally balanced, that's what we're talking about here. Now, in addition to that, for you to become mentally balanced, it's pretty much the same baseline understanding, meaning you got to understand how your mind works. That is your business. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand how your minds work. Now, in addition to that, you also would have to understand how were you how were you being trained, or how can you even train your mind to think the way you want your mind to think, or the way that would allow you to attain the highest level of consciousness. But first, you would have to acknowledge how your minds work. In addition to that, how were you trained to think? Because it's not how much you see, but it's how are you looking at it. It makes a world of difference. Isn't that why we're saying, well, if you want to change your life, change your thoughts? Now, we're not talking about your let's just say a bad idea that you have. We're talking about your thinking pattern. But again, you also your emotions have to be in alignment as well. Because if you're depressed right now, you're not gonna have the best state of mind. You're not gonna come up with the best fucking ideas. That's why people who understand that, they try to meditate, or they would go somewhere else, or trying to invite you, create the environment for it. You see what I'm saying? So again, so becoming mentally balanced, it's very complex. It entails you understanding how your mind works, how were you being trained. You have to understand your culture. You have to understand pretty much everything else, because becoming more conscious is becoming more self-aware. How do you master your mind if your mind is being controlled by someone else? It's not going to work. But how do you control your mind even if your culture is training you to think a certain way? But when you become self-conscious, it's not like you're refuting your culture. No, you learn what's good about it, you take it, and what's not, there you go. You do what you got to do. But for you, but even to look at it that way, that's where self-awareness is very important. And that's why it's important. And as part of my work, I mean, the basics is pretty much the foundation, and the foundation is everything. That's why even when I'll be talking about spirituality in just a little bit, I always tell you guys, listen, if you only understand what spirituality is in itself, you grasp that itself, that alone, you are conscious now. Because if you truly get it, then you'll see, it's like, oh shit. It's me. A lot of people now are talking about the law of vibration. You could do this. I mean, the law of manifestation. My bad. You know, you could think of something, it happens, be positive, and all that shit. Well, if you could do all of that, what the fuck does that say about you? You see what I'm trying to tell you? So again, knowing your true nature is the name of the game. And as you do, and that's what's gonna set you free. But for you to do all of that, that's when becoming mentally balanced, it's important. Your emotions and your mental has to become in alignment. And that's the idea when you hear people talk about mind, body, and soul. They became one. And again, you probably heard the three, becoming one. However you want to look at it, the Holy Ghost, the Spirit, whatever the fuck. There's always three that gives you one. And that's exactly what this is talking about. Now, dealing with spirituality, there's a language that it comes, and that's where the occult comes in. There's a hermetic way of saying shit. There's a, well, I like to say a little dramatic shit, which I really love, by the way. That you get to say shit, but again, it's only referring to your regular life. It's being said that way. Well, every stuff has their ways of saying things. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what field you're in. I mean, you could say, I heard you, or copy, depending on the line of work that you're pretty much in. But ultimately, you're saying the same shit. And I'm here to expose all that shit to you. I'm gonna help you to get yours, baby. So anyway, in a nutshell, as a spiritual healer, that's what I do. That's what I help you with. Now, if you're coming back, come on now, baby. You know I gotta take one for you. It's nothing but love. You already know it's always a holy communion. Let's build. Let's elevate each other. Listen, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you my all. Best and believe. Best and believe. This is me to you. It's in the house, baby. Don't worry about it. Don't you fucking worry about it. But anyway, let's get to work now. So, because we got some shit to speak about. Now, as part of my routine, if this is your first time or if you're coming back, you already know. This is when, I was kind of like telling you, I always like to take the time to tell you guys about spirituality or what spirituality is. First of all, because, it's the foundation of what I'm talking about. So a lot of my wisdom, comes from spirituality, meaning the self, who you are. But okay, okay. But and secondly, shit, like it is your nature. But anyway, let's fast forward a little bit, right? So when I'm talking about spirituality, and spirituality, it's us. Now you become spiritual by acknowledging or knowing a little more about yourself. Then now you become to acknowledge pretty much that you are more than dick and pussy. There's a spirit in you. You have a third eye. There's chakras. You have your aura. You have energies. Oh shit, you do the law of manifestation. For you to start to acknowledge these things about you, that's when now at this point, or depending on the level of understanding, then now you may become spiritual. I'm saying that to say, so when you don't see yourself relating to spirituality, for the most part, it's because you're not aware of who you are. But don't worry about it. You not worry of who you are. It's done by design. And that's what, in so many words, people call the matrix. It's done by design, meaning the design now is that a lot of us been trained or been raised for us not to be in touch with who we are. That's why people live their lives based on who they should be instead of who they are. That's what you see in society, you know. So, in so many words, the misconception about spirituality, or people even don't even talk about spirituality as much. I mean, it's very popular nowadays, but I guess what I'm trying to say is most people don't see it as part of them. It's only because you've been trained to look at your to know yourself as just dick and pussy, flesh and bones, wine and bread. But if you start looking at yourself, okay, in addition to that, you also understand you also got to feed your mind. And therefore, that's why they say a man does not live of bread and wine alone, but you also live of the word of God. And we do it in so many different ways. A lot of us go out to vacation. You know, you go out for the fucking experience. You go to places. I mean, you are feeding another aspect of yourself, knowingly or unknowingly. So I'm saying that to say, I mean, even if you don't acknowledge your essence, you are more than who you are. So now the problem with when it comes to people relating to spirituality, if you only identify with dick and pussy, then at this point, you know, I mean, or your interpretation of what a spirituality is at this point will become, let's just say, an Indian man walking around with towels wrapped around his ass. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not shitting on that at all. I mean, they have their reasons of doing it, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hey. But that's not makes them spiritual though. They already know who they are. Now they're making a statement with that. And that's what the monks are doing. So again, because you're not relating or you don't embrace, I mean, you only look at yourself as dick and pussy, meaning as, you know, flesh and bones. So, I mean, what the fuck is spirituality? So everything becomes supernatural now. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know, when people like, because I remember for me, because I used to see a lot of people reacting that way. It's almost like when you're talking about spirituality, it's like, okay, well, your bill must be paid, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because if your bill weren't paid, I don't think that's what you'd be talking about. And whereas, you know, having your bill being paid, all of that, it's you. It's the spirit doing that. In fact, if you know anything about anybody's telling you about spirituality, that's why they tell you seek the kingdom of God and everything else will be given to you. So spirituality, another way of saying that, it's not against your regular life. It makes your regular life better. You know what I'm saying? It makes your better life, your regular life better. Because as you get to know your true nature, that's why when I say I don't argue with fools, not to say that I think I'm better, but if I know you don't understand what I'm saying, what the fuck am I doing to myself here? That's why this knowledge is considered being sacred. And we're going to talk about the occult. That is the occult. It's sacred knowledge. You know, you don't cast your pearls before swine because all of that shit is simply when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So because I know this wisdom, I act in accordance to that. But let me say it a better way. Because I have embraced and become that wisdom, become that living wisdom. That's why I don't argue with fools. But again, everything that I'm saying here, it's all spiritual. Our essence is spiritual or spirituality. So when we're talking about spirituality, it's just your regular life. You know what I'm saying? It's your regular life. It's everything that you do. Now, I talked about one of the misconception, which is you not knowing who you are. So because of that, now you look at it as something that's being outside of you. But also, well, shit, like when you're looking at it as something that, I mean, but also in addition to that, most people look at spirituality, let's just say it's religion. Again, another misconception. Because religion, for what it is, I mean, I get it, but it's more than that. I mean, I mean, I don't think, let's just say, do you think somebody who chooses to believe in Jesus, let's just say, if I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus. I don't have three legs. I mean, we still have the same. I mean, I got two legs, you still got two, too. What I'm truly trying to say here, the difference really is maybe that person acknowledged something else in them. Not necessarily just because you don't acknowledge it doesn't mean you don't have it. And that's the reason why us who's doing the spirit, I mean, call us light worker or spiritual healers, that's why we come forth to bring that knowledge to you, to serve you. And another misconception that people have too is that, they think spirituality is it's a belief system. I mean, all of that sounds cute. I mean, we all have our different beliefs, and spirituality embodies all of it. So now in spirituality, we have something called the occult. Now, the occult is that's what those sacred texts I was talking about. That's what now you're dealing with. Those esoteric wisdom. Now when you're dealing with esoteric wisdom, those are the knowledge that is not intended for you to understand literally. And when you're dealing with self consciousness, you're dealing now with another aspect of yourself. And even when you're not dealing with that too, I mean, I mean, ultimately, that's what you're dealing with. All we're doing at this point is help you to acknowledge that. That's why us spiritual healers, and in so many words, in the occult, there we talk about the wisdom of the great mirror, because what that mirror does is reflecting you in it. And anything that I'm saying here, it's just reflecting you and I. So you make up your mind if this is for you or not. I'm just doing my job, baby. We on it. And we on it. So now spirituality is just your life, man. Your ordinary life. Now the occult now comes in with those esoteric knowledge, wisdom, to help you to become more conscious or to acknowledge another aspect of yourself. Then now you're dealing with the hidden culture, with the part of you that you do not see. That's why some of the basics understanding that you would learn from the occult is trying to let you know what, you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. All that is doing is shedding light on that other side of your subconscious mind. Oh, shit. And guess what? You have something called a third eye. Where is it located? Somewhere here. Another oh shit. Your aura. All of that doing is helping you in your regular life, your ordinary life, to acknowledge there is more to what it looked like. And in so many words, that's why the Indians, they call this world, the realm that we're living in, a world of illusion. In other words, they call it Maya. And everything we do, we got to, in this world, or even for me to get to know you, the you that I need to get to know, it's not the you that dresses, that takes showers, that wash your ass. I hope you do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is all part of you too. We're not denying that. But it's your character. Can I touch it? Can I see it? So now the occult now, then there's something called shadow work. The whole thing, it's all part of the occult. And again, it's dealing and giving you a deeper understanding of who you already is. And now by you becoming aware of that, that's how you're going to attain your highest level of consciousness. You become Christ-like. Congratulations, motherfuckers. Congratulations. You are in your element. You found your true self. Then you truly have actualized your living mind into this physical body. That's why the whole purpose of you to become conscious is for you to materialize your divinity, your true essence. When they showing you the saints that have the hollow and all that shit, that's a represent this. That's a represent. It's now you become the enlightened one. Your aura is bright. And again, this is dealing with the occult, which is a part of spirituality, but that's the manual aspect of it to help you to have a better understanding. Those sacred texts, those great books. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's not just one of them. There's a lot of them. It's a bunch of great book out there. But to the pure, all is pure. You got to find that goodness in you for you to identify everything else that is good. You got to find your beauty. But anyway, to summarize, your spirituality is your regular life. And if you get to know your essence, for instance, like we are a living mind. If that's a little too strong, let's just say your energy, or you have the spirit of God in you, whichever one you deal with. I mean, at the end of the day, you are more than what you appear to be. I feel like I should get an amen on that one. Can I get an amen, motherfuckers? Amen. But anyway, now let's delve into what we came here to talk about because this is very important. So now, as you see in the title, there's no winning in power struggle. What am I talking about? First of all, let's go back to how we were trained to think, right? So if you identify yourself with who you should be, then now you living your life based on that image. And that's where all the competitive nature comes in. The greed comes in. Do you having to keep up with the Joneses? I mean, it's only natural at this point. You know, that is part of the matrix, which is that design. In the occult, we call it you worshiping idols because it's not God or not the God image in you. Then think about it. How do you have self-esteem without the self? I mean, the self-esteem in itself. It means you acknowledging, the values of self, you knowing your worth. Not necessarily, yes, having your skills, all of that is good, but most importantly, your essence. So, saying all of that to say, I'm walling in my mind. I'll get there. Well, I'm thinking about a bunch of bullshit, but anyway. So now, how can we even talk about self? So I don't know. That's the shit I was saying. I don't know what part of the Bible that was talking. I think it's Corinthian or which, or it doesn't matter, right? So they talk about the fruit of the spirit. Well, it comes with self. How do you have integrity if you don't respect yourself? If you don't have self-esteem, then you automatically become what is called a people pleaser. And that's what you see in what you call in the matrix. So everybody's trying to fit in because that's what they go by. When you become in alignment with you, I mean, power struggle, like there's no power struggle here. That's why you never win. Even okay, this is what I see out there. Like when we talk, even when you're courting women out there, right? It's it's a power struggling shit. What we have in our culture here is the battle between the sexes, and there's no winning in it. No one's gonna win. Those psychological games takes you nowhere. Even if you talking to your kids, right? You could bully them all you want. You could push them to do something. Yes, they might be able to do it, but you'll never truly have their acceptance, their cooperation. They do that shit in front of you, but when you're not there, it's not gonna work. So what are we doing? I mean, that's when now, I mean, you power tripping. But when you have a heart to heart conversation with somebody, that's when you start winning. Or, I mean, because your feelings is what's going to help you to change, to truly change. Again, that transformation has to take place through your emotions. That's why, I mean, I can't recall who says it. I don't know if it's the Buddhists or whoever, but they say your true mind is here. But a lot of us, we don't realize the power struggling that we do. It stems from out of people. It's the whole idea. It stems from of you trying to be something that you're not. Going back to fucking dating, right? It's just a battle between the sexes. When do you call it, judge? Couple days, 3 days. When do you give up the pussy? Like all of that shit. And a lot of people who are truly playing games, what you're calling games, I mean, there's no one who's going to be emotionally open who's going to be playing games. In fact, a lot of the games come out of that's what makes it toxic. It's something that you're hiding. You don't want to be intimate, meaning you don't want to be vulnerable. Then now you got to play the game. And now, this is how toxic the shit gets. Now you play somebody. Now you're looking for someone for you to actually control. There's no gaining out of that. What are you winning? At the end of the day, it's anxiety and fucking depression. I could assure you of that. And you could miss me with that bullshit too. And this is where I'll just excuse myself. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not acknowledging your emotions, you're not gonna have self-esteem neither. Because self-esteem, the esteem is dealing with the self to be satisfied within, not projecting your fear to someone else. Because what we're truly dealing with in this society, as you get to understand that we are all living mind, and a lot of people who have not done their shadow work, you're dealing with other people's shadow. That's why they're projecting themselves. That's why you have narcissists, you have envious and jealous people who's looking to kill. Yo, this shit is powerful. Because when your shadow takes over you, you become a fucking monster. And then afterwards, that's when you start crying. Oh, I regret that. Oh my God. Your emotions is not in fucking alignment. But most importantly, the power struggling shit that's taking place, you're not winning. It's a lose lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever seen a love relationship that's not open to one another? That's not taking accountability, that's not going in, who doesn't know how to listen? Because just like I always tell people, to think critically, even to listen critically, you got to be critical. That's why I tell a lot of you guys, don't worry about fucking relationship. Find your light, and it will permeate in different aspect of look for the kingdom of God. And even a good relationship that you're going to be with, it's you believing in love, and that person has to be open to it too. Isn't that why a lot of people are getting played? One might be open, the other one is not. So there's no fucking winning in power struggling. In power struggle, uh, you're setting yourself short. You hurting yourself. That's why, you could talk someone to death, give them all the facts. I know for me, I talk about self-love, right? And I could show you all the reasons why you should love yourself. All the fucking reasons. I could even tell you self-love and selfish are two different things. And if you're asking yourself, what's the difference? Well, when you're dealing with self-love, and I'm always going to take a time to talk about this, because when you're dealing with self-love, you're dealing with appreciation, your divine qualities. So when you're dealing with that, if you were to walk and you step on somebody's shoes, my bad, bro. Because you know what I'm saying? Because I step on you. I acknowledge I did. Because now you're dealing with knowing your inner self. You look for that in other people. That's why if you don't love yourself, there's no fucking way you're gonna love somebody else. And that's why even in our society too, if you're not in alignment with yourself, there's no reason. I mean, it's all by design. You gotta play your power, like you gotta play your bullshit game. But you're lost It's not there. It's from the very beginning. That's why you have to be born again. Meaning now you got to start looking at yourself from a whole different perspective, more than dick and pussy. But what is that also doing is bringing you in alignment with the self. That's why when we talk about the fruit of spirit, of course, if you're following yourself, why would I be jealous of somebody else? I can be inspired from someone else, of course. That's all day, every day. That's why there's a lot of other people I admire their strength, their struggle. You know what I'm saying? And that's just and a fucking. I mean, a confirmation for me to keep doing what the fuck I'm doing. And that's why if you're gonna play celebrity, you'll be RIP all the time, baby, all the time. And I always and like I'm pretty sure you guys might be. I'll give you another example. Like because I remember the guy who actually robbed Extentation and all that shit. These motherfuckers went on Facebook flashing their money, showing that they got money. I mean, is that stupid? Definitely. But there's a lot more to it because they're seeking for validation. First of all, if they weren't seeking for any, I mean, for themselves, there's no way you're gonna follow yourself, man. You gotta rob somebody, man. No way. I could tell you that right now. Yourself is not gonna lead you to rob somebody else, man. Why? Because you would be in touch with you, the self love wouldn't allow you to do that. But when you're selfish, it's different because now you only concern, yes, for yourself, but the self that you only concerned with is the external self. It's the benefit. And because you only care for the benefit of the external benefit to yourself, I mean, stepping on somebody else's toes, that shit ain't shit. You'll do it again, again and again and again, and fucking again. Oh, this is all by design. And that's what the matrix is, if you're asking me. Or that's my definition of the matrix. That's the world we all created out of our fucking ignorance. And this is you going to school. This is you, not to say school is ignorant. I don't want, but anyway, niggas gonna take it how they take it anyway. Let me keep going. This is you going out of school. This is only you looking at your life as in, just paying taxes. You have your funds, you buy a house, you're living the American dream. Then now your definition of you living life, that's what it is. But if that's all it is, I don't know. But again, for you to acknowledge there is more to life than just these things, you gotta see something else in you. God damn it! Like this. I don't know, man. I'm doing my best, man. Please, please, I'm doing my best. Take it easy on me. Oh, please, I need your sympathy. What the fuck? Sympathize for me, man. What the fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? Like we say in Haiti, man, there's no secret in making Coca-Cola, nigga. It's chemical and water, nigga. Quench your thirst. Hey, oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. Quench your thirst, man. But anyway, now Wallet. Going back to acknowledge, acknowledging the self, and there has been this political thing, to be politically correct or to be politically accepted. You have to look at yourself like fucking ants. You ain't shit. You don't deserve God. But when was the last time you ever see anything, anybody? This nigga killed his own son for you, and you gonna look at yourself like you ain't shit. Like even if I want to take what you already know, let's go with what you already know. It's either your God is a fucking criminal, you know what I'm saying? Because for him to sacrifice his own son for you, because you have no values. Come on now, I don't know. What are you guys smoking? You know what I'm saying? Because what I'm smoking and drinking has not yet allowed me to see it that way yet. You know what I'm saying? And I am a student of the game. I'm a student. Listen, yo, wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. I don't know what you smoking. And here's the crazy shit. Most of these motherfuckers don't even smoke. But anyway, man, ignorance is a motherfucker. The people are perishing due to fucking ignorance. Acknowledging and appreciating yourself doesn't make you cocky. Now, if you're being cocky, that's something else. That's why the monks, we say namaste. From the God in me to the God in you. But most importantly, even if you don't acknowledge the God in you, still see it. That's why we humble. That's why we have something called compassion. Because me knowing my value and knowing I'm no greater or bigger than you, even Jesus tell you you could do the same shit I was doing. What the fuck? I'm doing my best. I'm, I'm truly doing my best here. I mean, or my worst. I mean, I'm not sure which one. You pick. So again, even this whole political, speech, it's not. I mean, how do you have a how would you even have? I mean, a lot of you guys like fuck having high self esteem. You're not even dealing with the self, so you don't have any esteem at all. You know what I'm saying? Like you never see a motherfucker that don't like, and I see that a lot. You see niggas that don't like another motherfucker, but you still want to hang out. You still want to hang out with them. I don't know, man. Y'all smoking something else. The fuck? Like there's no self value at all. Do you see what I'm saying? And when you start to have that self esteem and that self acceptance, that self love, that's what sets you apart. That's why you don't need a whole crowd for you to do anything because you're not a people pleaser. That's why that is your treasure. But the whole power struggle shit comes out of you not being vulnerable. And I get it. I get it. I mean, I'm not saying it's something easy, but I'm trying to help you to acknowledge where a lot of toxicity actually comes from. The more closed off you are, that's when the toxicity comes out of. It's always the nigga or the person that don't that's not in touch with their feelings that do all the fucking crazy shit. And the more you're not in touch with your emotions, the more toxic you are. Again, this is your regular life. So when you're truly dealing with spirituality, that's what you're dealing with. Your psychology, your fucking well, which is part of your mental, your emotions. If you go see a shrink, I mean, again, that's why for me, my thing is to make that mysterious language a regular language. But again, it's not mysterious in the sense of, oh my God, it's like, but it's mysterious. I mean, you just gotta love it for what the fuck it is, like in terms of the way it's being said, the actual curiosity in it. And again, dealing with the occult, the hermetic, the hidden part of you. It's it's being said a certain way, which I totally get. I totally get. But I'm just here to expose the shit. You know what I'm saying? We're here to expose some shit. So now, because there's no connection with you in the self, that's how they tell you, like the loudest motherfucker, it's the one with the lowest, well, I don't even want to say self-esteem. I mean, there's no self at all. That's why you got to speak loud. That's why fuck love, like shit, can love pay my bills? Like what the fuck, what does love has to do with your bills, man? Do you take shower? Do you eat? Do you breathe? Again, the power struggle gets you to a point where you are reacting that way, again, due to lack of you're not acknowledging your fucking emotion. It got to a point where even some of the dating coach that I'm listening to, because I listen to everybody, I'm like, okay, well, let me see what the fuck they talking about. Hey, I always learn either something new or their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them be like, oh, and like, it's just crazy. It's almost like these niggas, they teaching you, like, if you've been hurt, now they teaching you how now to be in the position that somebody else that hurt you. So you become that. That's all they truly doing. You love them, don't call them. Don't show that you love them. How about having a fucking normal conversation? Because all of that is not taking you anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why all your, let's just say, those mind games never amount to shit. But you wasting your time. Oh my God. That's all you're doing. And playing yourself. That's why you see a lot of people are looking for, let's just say, like like a dating book and all that shit. But yet, you're not seeking yourself. And again, if you understand self-love in a society based on how, that's why a lot of those marriages are fake, man. There's a fucking image. Now, when both of you cannot maintain that, or you don't see the importance of maintaining that fucking image, that's when you motherfuckers get fucking divorced, man. Like, nah, I gotta deal with this nigga, the true person. Oh no. Why don't you go back to be fake? So it's there's no winning it. But from the beginning, if there was an open heart, and you know what I'm saying, you being vulnerable, and the same thing, happen to the same person and them also being the same, now you're in the game. That's why you could talk. I like. Let's go back to the self shit that I was talking about. Right? If your inner feelings is telling you that you ain't shit, everything, even somebody who's feeding you positive feedbacks, it's not gonna do anything because it is a self shit. It might work for a second or two. Shit, depending how strong it is, maybe a couple days. You know what I'm saying? But until you truly get to see your worth or get to take accountability, only then can you change or being more open. Now, how do power struggle or using mind fucking game help you? I mean, unless if you're using the mind game to help somebody else to open up. Meaning, at this point, it wouldn't necessarily be mind games, but it would be more of providing a fucking environment, a safety environment for that person. But all of that, you would have to be in touch with you too, though. And that would also require a certain amount of vulnerability on your end for you to even create that. See, that's when follow the self, it's you already winning. The minute you follow yourself, nigga, you shit. You know what I'm saying? You got it. You got it. But you have to convincingly, adapt. That's why you got, raising yourself. That's part of your self-esteem. That's why self-esteem is more than just what you guys think of it, but it's also you embracing your divinity, that other aspect of yourself, your dreams, the shit that you like. Because all of that would allow you to become in alignment with you. You see what I'm saying? Like you'll gain a lot more having a heart to heart conversation with somebody. That's how enemies become friends too. Well, not always, but for the most part. That's why too. I mean, sometimes you may argue with somebody and then it gets you to open up a little bit, but it's not the argument part that says it. Maybe it's the shit that you didn't say before. I mean, that's how sometimes I mean, it may work out that way, but keep in mind, it's not the argument that's doing that. The key thing is, it's for you to become vulnerable. And that's why it's strength. It requires strength. That's why so many people, they fucking punk out. That's why they're punks. If you adopt a modality, let's just say you're living your life based on who you should be, then it will automatically create fears in you. And the fear that's going to create is that the fear of self. Anything about you, about your essence, it's not acceptable. But how do you truly love somebody if both of you motherfuckers are not open to one another? You, you guys let me know. You guys let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why the mind games mean. Ah, shit. There's no accomplishment at all in power struggle or the domination game that I see in the dating world. You just playing yourself. And now, if and trust me, if somehow your stupid games get somebody else, or you get somebody that way, you don't want to be with that person. Trust me. It's a lose lose. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're gonna have to maintain that. You're gonna have to keep playing that fucking game, or you're gonna have to have them by their balls, huh? All right, you ball grabber. The fuck? And there's a part of you, I shit. There's a part of you that you'll never be fully satisfied, and you'll never be whole. You'll never become the perfect man. We're not talking about being flawless here, but embracing both aspects of yourself, your masculine and your feminine. And for that to happen, well, I mean, pretty much your intellect, you have to embrace your feelings, your emotion. And that's the yin and the yin. That's all that shit. That's that's justice and you. And that's that alignment that allow you to become conscious, more conscious, but most importantly, you became now at this point you having a more a connection. If you want, because I don't want to use the occult verbiage too much, but you have successfully unite your higher self with your lower self. So the power struggle, the domination shit, you let me know how that shit work out for you. Yeah, I mean, you may get what you want, but it would be just another thing that you actually. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you call that that's well, that's being selfish, and there's no gain. I mean, you'll get the fucking external shit, but that you'll have to keep chasing your own tail, and that's why you know the Christians meet are met. You know, when you find God, you find everything. That's why when you're living your life based on who you should be, you will always got you got to keep pleasing the Joneses. You got to keep competing. There's no self fulfillment. So your actions are pretty much empty. Again, congratulations. A lot of you motherfuckers are playing yourself. Masturbating. That's what you pretty much doing. You guys are jerking off, man. It's yourself. You do whatever the fuck you want with it. I ain't judging. I'm just holding the mirror of fucking wisdom for you to see it. There's no judgment on this side at all, regardless of how I may say it. I'm just telling you what I see. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you motherfuckers are walking around jerking off, man. Like, God damn. All right, can you keep that shit to your house? You know what I'm saying? But the house is not in a fucking alignment. So you're always gonna act out. Literally. You have your pants down, motherfucker. Put your fucking pants up, nigga. No, it's all good though. You wear it however you like. You know, there's no fucking win. There's no gain in power struggle at all, or in seeking for a domination. Again, like depending on obviously, if that's what you're going by, you'll never be fulfilled. I mean, there is gain, I should say, but the gain is gonna come with with more pain for you. It's literally like you hurting yourself because it's part of your nature. Like when people are saying, "Oh, can love pay my bills?" Well, it's part of your nature to fucking to be loved, to have love. What the fuck is wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? You think there's something wrong with you? Obviously, because you're not in alignment with you. It makes sense. That's why I have compassion. I understand. Believe me, I understand you more than you. Humbly. You know what I'm saying? Gracefully. That's what I'm saying. Respectfully. But when you become in alignment with the self too. So what you just see, and I just tell you respectfully, that was me speaking with authority. That's in the house, man. I'm not even gonna talk about anything else. That's in the house. But that authority is also out of fucking love. Oh, I'm truly in tune, nigga. And again, like and it has nothing to do with me raising my voice, not raising my voice, none of that shit. How you like them apples? So again, that's what we're helping you here with. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, like even that game, to go back to what we were talking about, that's why even somebody who's selfish, that's why you see motherfuckers making a lot more money, wants to make more money, man. It's you chasing your own tail because you're not looking at things correctly. You're not in alignment. If you're not happy with little, you're not gonna be happy with a lot. That's just the way it is. In fact, I was listening to Jamie Foxx. He said he was having this conversation with this guy who on boats, whatever the fuck, and it was a bad year for the motherfucker. And this nigga was sitting in a boat that was worth $10 million. I mean, I don't recall exactly, but the bottom line was, the nigga didn't appreciate what he had. He always looking at the money that was just, I mean, and here's something else too. That's why I always tell people to be grateful is a state of mind. Not just a state of mind, just it's a state of living. The words got to be made flesh. This is when you become the knowledge and the knowledge becomes you. That's why your spirituality has to be materialized. You got to go down before you go up. And the more down you go, the higher you go. Just wordplay. Don't let that fuck you up. But if you understand where I'm coming from, you'll get it too. And that's why you'll see in every mythology, Hercules has to go down before whatever. Jesus had to go down before he ascended. All these motherfuckers. Did you know there's a Serbian Jesus? You know, every culture has it, one way or another, motherfucking other. And again, this is all us. It's being said in different languages, different ways, but ultimately, that's why you have to embrace all of it for you to have your highest level of consciousness. Until you realize wisdom is wisdom, regardless where it comes from, how would you be open to wisdom? And that's when you become wisdom itself, too. That's how you're able to listen to kids because there might be something in it for you. Do you see how it becomes a level plan? Like everything become level. Like it's true self love has nothing to do with being or stepping on somebody else's toes or thinking you're bigger than. Nah, that's not self love at all. Again, I don't know what you guys are drinking or smoking. Some of you don't even drink or smoke. I'm just amazed. And I'm open to learn too. What the fuck? Because I've been listening. It just haven't been making sense for me lately. That's all I'm saying. The whole power struggling shit, the whole domination shit that we all looking to do out of ignorance, out of fear, and out of a lack of acknowledging our true emotions. I mean, how do you, let's just say, even you want to say God is outside of you. Cool. I don't know anybody who's in alignment with the so called external, the sky god, however you want to call it, who has not, I mean, who have not yet has to go, like, you got to go within. Let me know somebody who attained that level of consciousness who has not gone within, who have not acknowledged the self. Please let me know. Again, I am a student of this too. Mm, let me know. You don't even have to speak. Just a link or, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No. So again, the whole dominating thing that we're all playing each other, playing ourselves, most importantly. That's why if you're not true with yourself, you'll never be true to somebody else. Never. And that's why the design, the society that we're living in, that's rocking you to sleep, that's making you average. That's why we have a lot of those shit that are taking place. You gotta keep up with the Joneses. Why the fuck not? There's no self involved. You don't embrace your own individuality. That's part of the self, isn't it not? So when the monks say namaste to you, it's them seeing the God in you, that doesn't mean that's because they think they're bullshit. Like, how did we? How did it? I think that's okie doke. Like that's got to be some miracle shit because my mind can't process it. How is it somehow you diminishing yourself, bel- belittling yourself makes you better? I might need to drink something stronger. Dang, might need something stronger. Mm. Well, I'm gonna keep looking for it. How? Even in a fucking relationship, the power struggle don't it doesn't work nowhere. And if you bullying your kids, that's even worse. If you don't have, I mean, shit, like if you don't have that open conversation, that heart to heart conversation, it's never going to amount to nothing. Nothing at all. Or I don't know. Let me know, man. Let me know, please, please, please. Help, help. Let me know because I have not seen it working, nor any great masters ever talked about that, and how there could be some, I don't know. How else would you have confidence? Is having confidence in yourself, is it offensive? It could be to your demon. It's almost like you reacting to it, like how dare you be yourself? You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck you think you are? I get it. Get it. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody here is dealing with self. In fact, there's a what is it called? Chicken Little Run or Chicken Run? I can't recall. It was a cartoon, right? And technically, what that cartoon movie was, yeah, I watch cartoons too, man. I have a daughter, so you know what I'm saying. But not just that. I'm a shit nigga. I'm a fan of that shit. But anyway, well, technically, I guess what he was saying. Whoa, wait a minute. I think I'm confusing what I'm saying here, because it was technically he got to see. He became conscious. He saw the things that other people didn't see. I mean, in that part of the cartoon was pretty much showing you nobody took him seriously. But the flip side of that too, I mean, was a lot of people were started what they didn't show you in that cartoon. If I should take the fucking liberty to talk about that, I should have a part two. Well, this is the part two, niggas. The part two, which is really what's taking place. So it was just showing you sometimes when you get to see things that other people don't see. And of course, they're not going to take you seriously. Even when, if I'm talking about spirituality now, of course, you may not relate to it because that's not how you identify yourself. Get it. But the flip side of that, too, though, you know what I'm saying? Do you know why people was killing the Christians? Well, the true ones. We're not talking about. Anyway, okay. Let me bring all that shit back. That's why, let's just say, a lot of people now are using the term chosen one, right? If you're a chosen one, or you a black sheep of the family, meaning now you have decided, you've seen better. This is more of the reality, though. And that should be part two. Part one is cool. You know what I'm saying? Chicken Little, hit me up. I got part two for your ass, nigga. The reality that most of us deal with, those are the betrayal. Those are the people now who's like who. That's what isn't that what happened to Jesus? Didn't he think he was the son of God? How dare he says that? And this is the funny shit. This is the Jesus that you guys are worshiping. You don't even understand what the fuck was taking place. You're looking at a man just like you and I, just like you would probably tell me right now, who the fuck do I think I am to think I'm motherfucking God? Or even the word to say I am the son of God. Isn't that the same shit that's taking place again? What would you really say? So you talking about Jesus now as if you think you would have followed him at that time? This nigga talking about he's the son of God, he's doing miracles and all that shit. It was rhetorical. Please let me help. I think I should change this to help. The title's gonna be help. I'm sounding help. Please do. Let me know. So again, a lot of us, I guess, when you're weak, you gotta appear strong, right? But you gotta understand, if you're dealing with your own feelings, it doesn't make you weak. It's vulnerable. Yeah, it's that. But that's also your strength, though. You have to learn how to embrace that. And you embracing that, sharing that, that's how you build your self esteem. You do you regardless of whoever the fuck is watching or is not watching. And you already got your prize right then and there. That's your treasure. And I know for me, I found that. Oh, I sold everything I got. Nigga, so everything I got, y'all can keep it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep this shit because it makes me alive. My reward is it's in this in itself, and that's why this is a blessing for me. And I should add, it's a privilege as well. You know, man? So even to talk about this type of conversation, the most they must have believed in something. I tell them niggas, I got y'all. We got it. We're doing the work, true baby. So it's only right. They gotta look out for your boy. That's what makes us the golden child. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? They saw us in the water. They thought I was drowning, nigga. I was just floating. I was just getting baptized, nigga. Don't worry, I'm not drowning. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? We floating out here, baby. You looked at it wrong, but you didn't know. Okay. It happens. You got caught in the fucking illusion. It happens. But anyway, we gotta live it here, man. I'm gonna live it here. It's already. Oh man, just when I felt like I was getting warmed up, but I want to keep it short too. So we're gonna keep it here. Understand, there's no winning in domination, my niggas. The true winning is you embracing your true feelings. It's you having that heart to heart conversation. If you're dating, whatever the fuck. But most importantly, it's you being true to you. And that's it, man. You know what I'm saying? Become a winner. aren't you? Aren't you? Aren't you tired of losing? You're doing all that shit just to lose. That's truly what losers do. That's truly what losers do. You do loser shit just to lose. Yeah, that shit wouldn't be me. I'm here to win, nigga. Now, with all of that being said, it's nothing but love. You already know what this is. And always remember, wisdom is wisdom regardless where it comes from. For you to be you, nobody else could be around. Even when you're on stage, believe it or not. Even if you have a crowd in front of you, the best speakers, nobody exists. And of course, not because we don't acknowledge anybody else. It has nothing to do with that at all. But embracing the self, no one else is going to be around. So remember that. And also remember the remedy of the pain. It's in the pain. I sing. Ali.